In this video, I'm going to walk you through every Apple Intelligence feature that matters in 2026 and how you could use them. So first, let's turn on these features. What you want to do is go to your settings page. Then once you're in the settings page, you want to scroll down and then you'll see Apple Intelligence and Siri. Here, once you click that, you essentially want to hit this button on, and see here, you can already see that I already have this on. So if you don't have this on, just toggle it on. And sometimes when you turn this on for the first time, you'll get a few prompts. Just go through them. You can change everything later. And then essentially what it will do is it will download in the background. Make sure you're connecting to Wi-Fi and power. And then of course, give it a few minutes and it will download. Now, while that finishes, now while you're still in the settings page, let's scroll down until it says to talk in Siri. Now, while you're still here, let's go and set up Siri. So with type and talk to Siri, let's make sure that this is on. And then of course you can turn this on. But for this video, I won't actually activate the Hey Siri because it'll interrupt the recording. But I will have the side button for Siri. Now, when you trigger Siri, you'll get a glowing halo around the screen, and that's how you'll know Apple Intelligence is live. And if you get the old Siri at the bottom, it just means the download hasn't finished yet. Now let's talk about the writing tools. This is one of the features you'll use most, and this is something that will work anywhere you type. Notes, mail, messages, search boxes, anywhere the keyboard shows up. Let me show you an example. I'm going to write a quick paragraph, as you guys can see. Now what I can do is I can highlight this text, and then you can see a small Apple Intelligence icon in the bottom right. Now, if I click that small intelligence icon, you can see certain icons pop up, sometimes with quick options like proofread, rewrite, and of course, once you scroll up, you'll be able to see the full menu. So proofread is super useful because this can catch your mistakes and it will underline every change. If you tap this, it'll essentially quickly look at any things you need to change. And here you can see it found one mistake. And of course, after I click that icon, you can see it managed to correct my mistake. If you like the fix, you just hit that check mark and then of course it is applied. So now we're going to look at the rewrite feature. So when you highlight another piece of text, rather than proofreading it, another thing that you can do is you can rewrite it. This is super useful because oftentimes when we're writing emails or writing texts into our friends, we either want to switch between friendly or professional. So with this one, I can immediately see underneath, we've got friendly, professional, and concise. So here I can change this to professional. So if I type that, it's going to essentially rewrite that and make it a lot more professional. So you can see it changed a few words. Now, obviously this wasn't the best demonstration. This paragraph is a little bit like a fairy tale story, but this is super useful. So if I click X, if I click plus, of course you can see it's now changed that text to be much more professional. Of course, once again, you can press the other button and you do have the ability to make it more concise or switch it to friendly, which is where once again, it will change it and you can see that text changes. And if you like that, you can either hit the check icon or you can change it back to the original. It is completely up to you. Now, if you essentially scroll up a little bit, you can see that there are two options underneath. There are summary, key points, list, and table. And these are essentially useful when you're dealing with large blocks of text. So now that I've highlighted all of this text, let me show you guys the other features. So I'm going to hit the Apple Intelligence icon once again. I'm going to scroll up and now we're going to hit summary. When you hit summary, this is super useful. And you can see right here that essentially gives you a summary of that text. Now, it's up to you if you want to replace that text because this is something that can not only be used in your notepad, but also if you're browsing a web page. So if you're on a web page and there's a large wall of text, you just make sure you highlight said text. And let's say I want to highlight all of this text here, which I'll do. If you want, what you can do, and this is something that I've personally found to be super useful, we hit that Apple Intelligence icon right here. And then what you'll see is if you scroll up, it'll then give you a summary of that specific text. So here you can see that it talks about humanities entering a rite of passage with AI, facing imaginable power, yada, yada, yada. And that's completely useful. So we know that that summary is good. Once again, if we do the same thing, we can scroll down, hit that. And then what we can do as well is we can get the key points. So it's going to read all of that text and then it's going to give us all of the key points. So this is something that we can use on a web page if we want to not only read stuff really quickly, or if we're here, what we can do is we can essentially get the key points here from an email, maybe a colleague. And then what we can do is we can then enter that text. So we can click replace, and then essentially it's going to replace all that text with what we just got from the Apple Intelligence. So you can use it for both things. Now, you can also do something that I found to be super useful is that if you want to highlight this, and let's say you want to make a specific change to that text, hit the Apple Intelligence icon, then describe your change in natural language. And so here, what I'm going to say is I'm going to ask it to rewrite this as make it easier to understand. And so here it's rewritten the text so it is much easier to understand. They're using less complex language, and this is going to be something that is super useful depending on whatever you are trying to do. So that is basically it for the writing tools. You can essentially have multiple different changes. Of course, you've got the listed and table one, which is super useful. But now let's move on to visual intelligence. So we're going to get onto the stuff that's new that barely anyone uses, and it's called visual intelligence. It turns your screen into something you can search. So here's how it works. So let's say you're online and you're browsing. Essentially, all you need to do is press the exact same buttons you'd press to take a screenshot, but instead of capturing the screens, you now get options to actually understand what's on it. So let's say I'm looking at a few chairs online. What I can do is I can look at this chair, and then what I can do is highlight part of the screen and then search just that. So for example, what I can do is hit the screenshot icon, and then now you can see it pops up with something at the bottom. So what you can see is I can then ask ChatGPT here, and it says tapping this icon, ask ChatGPT for more information by capturing and sending what's in view. So I can click continue, and here you can see it's giving me this. So I'm going to click next. I'm going to click enable ChatGPT, and then you can see I can ask anything about this, and I can say, what style of chair is this? And hit enter. And it says that this is an ergonomic office chair with a modern mesh back design combining lumbar support, adjustable headrests, smooth rolling casters, a type of contemporary task, seating focused on comfort and posture. So this is of course something that is right in your phone that most people don't realize. And this makes your phone feel like it actually sees what you see. So if you see something in an app, maybe you're browsing Twitter and you want to know more, you don't need to screenshot and switch apps. You can just ask it directly. Once you start using this thing, you will literally never stop. The thing that I would say is really good with the ChatGPT integration is that if you go into settings, okay, and then you scroll all the way down to ChatGPT, and this is your settings in your Apple Intelligence and Siri. If you go to ChatGPT, you can actually sign in with your account. And this is something that I think is super useful for those of you guys that want, you know, I guess you just want more limits. So if I'm going to sign in, so you can actually sign in with your account. And if you sign in with your account, you essentially get that access to, you know, the advanced capabilities for more often. So you do get access to the advanced capabilities until you reach your daily limit. And so otherwise you're basically going to be access to the very basic version. So when you ask it for stuff in browse and stuff like that, it's essentially going to get routed eventually to the cheaper model, provided you don't use it too much. Okay. So that is something that is super useful. The next one, and this one's a game changer if you ever want to talk to anyone in another language, is live translation. And it is already built into the apps you use. In Messages, it automatically translates incoming text. Even in group chats, you type back in English and it gets delivered in their language. There is no copy pasting translator. And in FaceTime, you get a live translated captions on screen while the other person talks. So here you can see I actually got a text from myself that is in Spanish, which I just wrote. And you can literally see right here, it says automatically translate this conversation. So I will translate the conversation. And here you can see it says the language will begin when language is downloaded. So I just need to download Spanish. And so now it's going to download that language to my phone, and then it's going to be able to translate every text that comes in. And so here you can see when we look at the chat now, the translations are automatically on. And this is super useful for those of you who are talking to people in multiple different languages. So of course, this is something that can work. And if it doesn't work the first time, just send another text message, turn it on and off via the settings when it pops up, and then you will get prompted to put it on again. Now, this does work also in FaceTime. You will get live translations captioned on the screen while the other person talks. And on a phone app, on a real phone call, it will translate the audio out loud in real time, and you can follow along with transcription on a speaker. And so now we get onto the image playground Genmoji, and this is where you can create some images. So all you need to do is just describe the image you want in the button. For example, I'll say create a cartoon dog astronaut, and then I'll just hit enter here. And here you can see it gives us a cartoon dog astronaut almost immediately. And it gives us many images that we can swipe side by side to use. So this is essentially just a image generation. Now with the 3 dots right there, what you can do with that is you can use that to share. So if you want to create a quick meme or an image, that is where you would share it right there. You can see you've got the share, save, copy, anything you want to do with the image you can do. And of course you can swipe and look at all the other images there. Now remember with this application, what you can do is you can always upload your own images. You can see in the bottom right, there are buttons that you can click. That's where essentially you upload your own images. You can either choose a photo, take a photo, it's completely up to you, or you can choose someone that person icon, that is essentially just people from your camera roll. You know how you have people in your camera roll, that is essentially what that is for. Next, another feature that you do have is you do have the Genmojis. So these are super popular with, I'm not really sure, but I just know that Apple essentially said that this was one of their standout features. So with the Genmojis, you just essentially, when in your any chat interface, you hit the emoji icon, hit the Genmoji, and then of course, this is where you can essentially describe an emoji from anything. So there is an update where you can combine existing emojis or add a short description to create something new. And of course, you can add people from your photo library and you can create expressions with personal attributes. So this is something that I think people are going to start using, and you can use it, you know, like a sticker. So if I click continue here, I'm gonna make a Genmoji. So here, let's combine two Genmojis. So I'm gonna have the laugh face, and then I'm gonna have the love icon. And then here we will get a Genmoji. So we can click the check mark. Okay, now that it's saved. And of course, now we get our custom Genmoji here, which is super useful to use in a conversation. So you can see it is super quick, super useful. You can combine anything. So we can do the laugh face. We can click even more emojis. Let's see what emoji we can combine this with a koala bear. And then of course, let's see what we get. Of course, we can combine more than one thing as well. So if you want to add a love heart as well, you can add a third love heart, which is third icon. And so we can get the 3 icons all completely together. So these emojis are super cool. And of course, as well, you can, you know, merge this with people. So what you can do is, if you once again hit the bottom right icon, I won't do that because there are just all of the people in my personal life there. But if you click that icon, it will pop up with people. You just simply add them to the Genmoji sphere. And then when you add them in, they will essentially become a part of that Genmoji, and you'll be able to create a Genmoji out of them. So something else that I don't believe most people are talking about is the Siri integration. And so what I'll show you guys right now is how you can actually use Siri with ChatGPT to get a lot done on your phone. So I'm gonna just use Siri standardly. So I'm gonna say, hey Siri, and then she should pop up, hey Siri. And then I'll say, can you make a note that says, where's the frog in my notes section, please? That looks good, thank you. So right there, you can see that's a very simple, you know, integration or whatever. That's just basically a simple interaction. But what you really want to start using Siri for is the advanced stuff with ChatGPT. So most people don't realize that Siri has been upgraded to use the ChatGPT app, even if you don't even have a paid membership. So earlier on in the video, I said that you could basically sign in on the settings page. That will grant you access to the top tier models and the top tier image generation. But something that you can do from time to time, even if you don't have access to ChatGPT, in terms of the paid membership, you can ask Siri to generate an image of something for you. So I could say, hey Siri, can you generate an image of an elephant, please? Use ChatGPT. Can you generate an image of an elephant, please? Thank you, that looks amazing. Okay, and there we have it, guys. So this is something that most people don't realize that exists with the ChatGPT integration with Siri. And it is something that can be super useful if maybe you need an extra image and maybe you need to generate something, or maybe you need to generate a piece of text. This is something that if you want to, you know, use the intelligences on your phone, I would say use the free version, see how it maps out. But of course, for most of you guys who are already using LLMs, don't forget to sign in with your account. That way you're able to see your requests and have the history of those conversations, because for right now, there isn't any way to look at the history. In the future, there will be with iOS 27 in the future, but currently that isn't the case.